Hey guys, and welcome back to another FM21 Transfer Guide with me, Raxo FM, where today we are looking at 3 signings and 3 sales for RB Leipzig. This is a club that has had a lot of success in recent years, mainly due to a bit of sponsorship money. As we can see, they have been down in the 4th division and only recently come up, and now they're a bit of a powerhouse up in the top flight of the German league, and I'm sure that with a few signings you can turn them into a league winners and potentially even Champions League competitors within just a few seasons. Before we jump into the transfers and budgets, make sure that you have liked this video if you are enjoying the 3 signings and 3 sales series, and make sure that you subscribe to the Raxo FM channel for daily-ish football manager content with a Real Madrid save going on right now. To start things off, the club has a pretty good financial system going on right now, with £18 million to spend and a decent amount of wage budget, with 100% of the transfers that you bring in, transfer profit that you bring in, going towards your transfer budget. The club is certainly ambitious and definitely wanting to look for a more youthful approach, with the signings of under 21s and not signing players over 28 being crucial to the club vision, as well as getting into the first knockout round and getting into the Champions League through the league. So some high expectations set by the board. It's certainly a good squad already, but if you make a couple of right sales and a couple of right signings, you can make those challenges very easy to accomplish. So we're going to jump straight into our first 3 sales of today's video. Our first sale is, in my opinion, a very obvious one, and it is a third choice goalkeeper that we certainly do not need in the squad anymore, just to get some wages off the bill and to get a wee bit of money back into the account. We're getting rid of this man who has been a servant for the club for only a year, so there's not exactly a lot of loyalty there either. So if we could get around £675,000 for a player that we're not going to use at all this season, it's definitely not going to be a bad deal for us, with the likes of Galarski being our first choice goalkeeper, obviously much better than him, and also if you compare him to our second choice goalkeeper in the form of Martinez, you can see that we do have some better options and definitely some more youthful options with a wee bit more potential. So I think it's time to say goodbye to Philip, and hopefully we can bring in a better rotation goalkeeper in for him, or just stick with Martinez. I managed to sell the man on to a League One side, and he has gone for £600,000, which I went away with pretty quickly. So I think if you try to take your time a wee bit more, you could even get potentially up to £1 million for the man, but 600,000 is not a bad deal for someone that we brought in for just about half that a year ago, and someone that we're not going to use at all this year. Our second sale is going to be probably a heavily debated one. Marcel Hausenberg is going to leave the club based off my evaluation of how he is going to affect the team. At 28 years of age, he has been with RB Leipzig for quite a number of years. £2.2 million he came in for, being valued at £13.75 million. He is one of the highest value players at the club, and he definitely sticks out as one of the few players worth that much money, being quite old and not having the star ability to really prove that he should be in the squad, as well as the fact that we do have a very good youngster in the form of Angelino, who is only going to get better at that left back role and is probably already better than the man. I think it's time for him to go at 28 years of age. He's not getting any younger, he's probably not going to get any better, and it's time to move him on. In this save, I managed to sell him on to Lyon, and I got him £11.5 million worth of sale value, and even that is a pretty low fee. You could definitely get that up to about £15 million. I will admit I did have a bit of trouble getting rid of him, as he didn't want to leave for a good period of time, but even now he's gone up to 29 years old. He's not going to be the most important player in our squad. Angelino is going to start above him. We also have a good rotation left back and right back option in the form of Benjamin Hendricks. He is great at left back and right back, so I don't think having another left back in the form of Hausenberg is going to do much good for us, and that £11 million is certainly going to do a lot for us in the transfer window. You could definitely substitute him out for Lucas Klosterman. In my opinion, I think that the other man is a better one to sell because he is a bit older, and at least Klosterman has a wee bit of room to improve, and as well as the fact that you can play in centre back and left back, which is always good to have in your squad. But again, it's just not going to be a starter for us, as we've got this man down here, Mukele, I'm definitely not saying that correctly, with a wee bit more potential, a wee bit more youth, but I think that with the higher value and the higher age, the other man, the left back, is going to be a better one to sell. I will admit, I really struggled with the rest of my sales, and I really had to draw on some thin straws there. That's not a phrase at all, but we're going with it anyway. They have a very good squad with a lot of people that have come in recently, a lot of people with potential, so I ended up going with this man, Lazar Samardzik. You can tell that's the first time I'm trying to pronounce that name. We're not going to sell him. We're going to loan him out, and I think the reason why we're loaning him out is because we do have so many young players, and he could be a key asset to our squad in his later years. 2-star current ability, some amazing stats already. To be honest, you could probably chuck him on the bench and he wouldn't be a bad rotation player at all, but we can certainly loan him out and try and get him up to that 4.5-star current potential ability, and he is going to be a great player for the future for us. I know it's a bit of a cop-out, but RB Leipzig have a lot of players that are very good. Not a whole lot of dead weight that haven't been brought in recently. I was certainly looking at Juan He Chang, but unfortunately, he was brought in for quite a hefty fee very recently. In this simulation, I've managed to loan out the young central attacking midfielder out to Schalke, which will be some amazing experience for him, as he is in a crucial first team spot apparently as a Schalke player in the Bundesliga. Getting that experience is going to be amazing for his development. I've simulated forward here, and he's already scored a goal in the league, got 3 starts, and I'm sure you could find a team that are willing to pay basically his full wage, as well as giving him some first team appearances, potentially even in the Bundesliga as well. This would be a great one for his development, and I think if you look at it, he's still got that 4.5-star potential ability, which will be amazing to see if he reaches it in the future. Definitely a good one to loan out, and I will admit it's a wee bit of a cop-out, so I do apologise. Once we get rid of all of those players, we are left with a very strong squad, but one key player in the squad needs to be identified as leaving because he is already confirmed to join Bayern. Upamecano, I'm sure, is a man that you were all wanting to use in the save. Unfortunately, he is leaving, so that is something that we do need to consider when we're making our signings, as well as the fact that we can see that we've got 2 key wingers here. If we go into our team report and take a look at squad depth, the left wing and the right wing are looking very tasty, but unfortunately not the deepest positions, as Campbell can play as CDM. That's definitely where we want him, almost more of a cam. Poulsen's definitely a striker, and Sabitzer and Forsberg are definitely going to be our starting ones out there. And Cuckoo maybe could play out on that left hand side, but even that isn't going to be a very strong position for him. So in my opinion, those are some areas that definitely need to be highlighted for the squad. A young striker is present now with I'm definitely not going to say that right, but this man is going to be a solid option up front, so that's not a problem at this current point in time. Dani Olmo is a great cam option as well. Even in the midfield, we're looking pretty all right. If we go down to goalkeeper, however, we can see that Galarski, a very good goalkeeper, but 30 years of age, is definitely getting older. Martinez also not being the best one in the business, with only 2-star current ability and the potential to be as good as Galarski. I think that is certainly a position where we could be looking to improve, as well as right back, where we have gotten rid of a player from left back, so we can see a wee bit of a gap going on in those defences. However, I don't think that's as big of a deal. As what I said before, we are going to be losing our main man, Upamecano, down in that centre-back role, so we now are left with only Kanate, and I'm definitely not saying any of these names right, I apologise for it, and Orban in that centre-back spot, as well as a couple of players that could potentially go in there, but I think that those are going to be the positions that we need to highlight the most. The centre-back, the right and left wing, and the goalkeepers. There's definitely a few players that could be improved here and there, but I think those are the most crucial. So let's go out and make 3 signings that are going to improve all 3 of those areas. The first signing we have made has highlighted that goalkeeper role, and it is Zach Stefan, who I know is a big prospect in the Manchester City sort of realm, and he is a USA goalkeeper who has an abundance of potential, even though he is only 25 years of age. I know that in-game he can definitely get a lot better. You could look for a better, younger goalkeeper, but I think this man, for the price we paid for him, he is definitely an absolute steal. £6.5 million. He's going to be a great rotation player. He could even move in to potentially become the #1 ahead of Galarski in the next few years, but for now he is definitely going to be a good one to be in the reserves. And 3-star current ability, 3-star potential. I don't think that that is telling the whole story, with his stats being fairly good at the moment, and I know that just a few days ago he had another ½ a star on his potential, so can we get that back so that I look like I've made a really good signing here? There's definitely a wee bit of add-on fees, but I think for the position that you're getting, the price that you're getting, and the quality that you're getting, this man at 25 years of age is certainly a good option. Our second signing highlights at left wing and right wing positions perfectly, as he can play both of them without a problem at all. It is Christian Pavon. He is a great one to sign at the start of any Football Manager, and this year especially, as you can bring him in for £6.5 million. To be honest, I can't remember if there's any add-ons to that. I wouldn't be surprised if there was, because this man has quality and absolute abundance. Some great physical stats, not too bad mentals where you need them, and in the technical areas, he's got some solid stats as well. I'm not going to act like that 3.5 star current ability is completely correct in my opinion. I'd say more of a 3-star current ability and maybe even a 4-star potential ability, but for £6.5 million, this is a player that you're going to either not like and sell for a profit, or love and keep around for years and years. He has got so much potential in him, even though I can't show that with his potential, and to be honest, I don't actually know if he has that much potential, but I've seen him be good in Football Manager this year before. He can even play at striker if you really need him, but I think for the price you're paying and what you're getting out of him, once again, it's a no-brainer. 24 years of age, not too young either, not too old either is what I should be saying. That's more optimistic, but he's definitely a good one to bring in and a great rotation option, and could be even moving into those first team spots if you do have some problems with Sabitzer or Forsberg. And our final signing, the one I think is the best of the bunch, Mancini, coming in from Italy, coming in from Roma. He is 3.5 star current ability with 4-star potential ability and only £15 million. I believe there is a £5 million potential fee coming in there, but look at his personality, model citizen, already got some amazing stats, plays as that ball playing defender that we love in Football Manager this year, and those stats are just in general are absolutely top quality. 16 marking, 14 tackling, 15 hitting, 6'3", great mental stats, amazing physical stats for a 24-year-old. I think this one, once again, is just such a bargain, and worst case scenario, you don't like him, you sell him for a profit. You do have to be mindful of the fact that he does crucially want release clause. I couldn't get that out of the contract, so if you can work a way to get that out of the contract, be my guest, but you'll certainly want to be renegotiating with him as soon as possible, as he is a great centre-back option in any save this year for Football Manager, but I think he slots right into that centre-back slot for Upamecano, and pairing with him until he leaves Bayern for this first year as the RB Leipzig boss. And after all those signings and sales, which by the way, I could have gone for a wee bit cheaper or a wee bit more expensive if I did do a wee bit more negotiating and was a wee bit more patient about it. But we still have a wee bit left in the budget. I'm not going to act like £1.9 million is a lot, but it's not getting rid of all of our money just yet. And I believe those were 3 amazing signings. Unfortunately, the only thing I think that did lack was an under-21 player for the first team. Obviously, the board really want you to get that, but I didn't sign any players over the age of 28. I think that they're definitely going to help us get into these sort of realms of Champions League qualification and Champions League first knockout stage. I think they're great signings. I think they're great potential signings as well. Not too old, really work in with the youngsters that they already have in the squad, and they're only going to get better and better as your save goes on, hopefully, as long as they don't, you know, get injured or play terribly. But even if they do, you can make profit on every single one of them. They're all very cheap. They highlight the positions that you need as the RB Leipzig boss, and I think that it certainly leaves the club in a better position than when we started. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. That is where I am going to end it. I believe that those 3 signings and 3 sales are perfect for RB Leipzig. If you have any better ideas, please let me know down in the comment section below. If you think they were completely wrong, respectfully let me know down in the comment section below, because there is a high probability that I was completely wrong with this one. But I think that this was one of the hardest ones I've done so far, and I don't think I did too bad at all. Would have loved a wee bit more of a wonder kid in there, but yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? Make sure you let me know down in the comment section below as well what team you want me to do a 3 signings and 3 sales for next. Make sure you subscribe to the RB FM YouTube channel for daily-ish Football Manager content, and I will see you all later.